Hi, Michelle.
Oh,
How are you doing?
good. How are you?
Good. It's nice to meet you. I'm Emmy, part of the
Hey,
demo
nice to
coaching
meet
team.
you.
So you're in New York, right?
Yes, upstate New York.
Wow, that's lovely. I'm from Montreal, so I used to go all the time to New York because of the
Ah,
proximity, and I do
mhm.
miss it because now
Yeah.
I'm in Calgary, Alberta.
Okay.
So, but I love, yeah, good food in New York for sure. I miss the pizza. There's no good pizza in Calgary.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Let's
I'll wait for
see.
Lauren. Can I share? Just can I test the
Oh,
share
yeah, yeah.
screen
I'm sorry.
just to make sure it
Switch it.
works at
Yeah.
least?
Here we go.
Oh, it should work. Yeah, let me just see. Can you see it? The my picture there on the page?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Lovely. Okay, great. That works. Cool. Yeah,
Very nice.
I read your website too. It's amazing what you do with marketing. I don't know much about marketing, so it's great that yeah, you're a practitioner and you know what you're doing in terms of like patient
I
retention.
try.
Yeah, it's lovely though. I like your website. How
Thank
long
you.
have you been practicing for again?
I've been practicing for about 14 years.
Oh, wow. Great.
Yeah.
That's great. And do you oh, I wanted to ask you actually before I forget, do you have the attendance for this
Like
you
the
know?
numbers, you mean? So 19 people are signed up. I
Okay.
find that 20% of people show up.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, it seems to be getting lower and lower.
Yeah.
I did let them know that I would send out the recording afterwards.
Cool.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get a couple people at least. There's always people asking me questions. And I have actually been helping a friend of mine transition to Jane.
Mm-hmm.
We meet at Panera and we go over her questions. So I know that people really need to see it so that they
Yes.
can understand and be like, oh, okay, I can do this. So hopefully those people will
Totally.
show up.
No, I can understand that. Is it
Yeah.
like all across the US, you would say, or are they like scattered a bit in the US or mostly in New York, you'd say?
That's a great question. My audience is anywhere that primarily speaks English.
Hmm.
So there could be people from Australia as well who are interested in Jane.
Oh, cool.
Um, yeah, potentially England. I'm not sure. I was having a hard time in Zoom, like trying to download the list of attendees. Sometimes I feel like, how am I still struggling with Zoom like after 4 years? Like, how do I not know how to do all of these things?
Yeah, there's a lot of settings,
Yeah.
and I'm in the same boat. I'm in the software world. It's been like a couple of years already, but I still struggle with Zoom. So you're definitely not the only one. There's a lot of things you can do. And I was worried about like just, jumping in between screen and stuff because I have like the slideshow and then I have the demo, but yeah, it should be all right.
Awesome. Yeah, one question that I had for Lauren, or maybe you would know the answer to this, is I was thinking that especially if we don't get a lot of people who attend live, I can always make this class like public on my website so that it kind of lives not forever, but like long term. And I can also submit it so that it is worth a continuing education credit. And then I think people might be more likely to sign up and watch it, or I don't know. So
Yeah,
we
no,
can
that's fair.
think about ways to get this class like some more longevity, basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For people to kind of like get, if they couldn't attend, but for you to get more visibility as well, right? Like
Hmm.
on
Yeah.
that side. Yeah, let's ask Lauren about that. That's a really good question.
Okay.
Um, I, yeah, I'm not too sure if there's probably like a way to do that. I know the Zoom links, at least for the demos that I do on the daily, they expire after 30 days. So
Gotcha.
I don't know what it is for the webinar. Like maybe it's something different, or maybe like Lauren can upload it and like transfer it to Vimeo or something. But yeah, we can. She's just jumping here, so that's great.
Perfect.
Hey, Lauren.
Hi. How we doing?
Hello. Good. How are you?
Good, thanks. So exciting.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Good.
Good. Good, good.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Oh,
I was
uh,
happy to see that Michelle is in New York. I am in love with New York and I do miss it a lot.
oh, so cute. Emmy, I don't know if it's because you logged, I don't know why it says my name on yours, but you may
Oh,
want to. I
oh
was like, huh,
shoot.
two
That's
of
so
us.
weird. It was my name before though. That's so
Yeah, I
weird.
thought so too. Yeah, I'm like,
Oh,
good.
okay. I impersonated you for a second. Yeah. Let me just switch that. That's so weird. See, the
Oh,
Zoom settings
okay.
always are doing things.
Yeah.
I feel like,
I didn't even know you could change your name while it was on. Look at
mhm.
that. Okay, good to know.
So fancy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like it depends on like what I'm hosting, but I have a lot of things. Like I have to change it quite frequently to be honest. And
Ah,
sometimes like a Jane Ambassador's account. So it like is the premium one that goes past 45 minutes. So it just says like
oh,
Jane
gotcha.
Ambassador team on it. So I have to change it like every time.
Good to know.
Mhm.
So I'm a little worried it might end up only being the three of us.
That's okay. You know what, Michelle, we have that happen sometimes. And it's a really great opportunity, like obviously for Emmy to practice, but also to just like have the recording you can share with your community. And I get it, like people
Okay.
might have the time, they can watch at their own speed. Like obviously this is beneficial to ask questions in person. But yeah, it happens. Don't worry about it. Like don't stress about it. And we'll just, see what we get. Sometimes people pop in like quite a few minutes late too, or like halfway
Mm,
through when they've done, finished treating a patient or like they're done their meeting beforehand and they just pop in when they can. And we just keep going. And if they have questions along the way, we're happy to answer them.
perfect. Yeah, Emmy and I were talking about, I was wondering if I could put this recording up on my website,
Mm,
almost like it like a lead magnet for me, but then also a way for you guys to have more exposure. And I could submit it to the NCC AOM for a PDA credit or like a CEU credit. And
yeah.
then people who watch it would just have to take a little quiz and then they get a PDA credit. So
Oh, cool.
can
Yeah,
always give it
either
a try.
works for us, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Okay.
Um, yeah, if you need other content like for that like association, feel free to let me know too, because we have like our trade partners and associations, they do that kind of stuff all the time. So if you need something like a little bit more polished or like
Gotcha.
that very specifically discussing something, happy to help you out with that too.
Okay. Cool.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, do we want to wait or do we just want to get started and then if people are going to pop in, they'll pop in?
We can maybe wait like
Couple
1 or 2 more minutes
of
and then
minutes. Yeah, for
started.
sure.
Yeah.
I
Did
agree.
you want to do you want to introduce us first or do you want Emmy to like just make sure she can share her screen?
Oh, I tested it and it
Emmy,
works.
yeah, she tested it.
Beautiful. You're just on the ball. I love that. Thank you.
Of course, that's always the first thing.
Right? Yeah. I apologize. I'm dealing with a little bit of a cold right now, so I'm gonna turn my camera on. Like clean my nose. Oh, there we go. We got one. All right. Yeah, we can probably go ahead and get started then, Michelle, if you would like.
Sure, absolutely. Well, thank you for being here. For anyone who hasn't met me before, my name is Michelle Grasick. I am an acupuncturist and a marketing coach, and I'm the host of the Acupuncture Marketing School podcast. So I'm really excited to be here with Lauren and Emmy today of Jane. And if you listen to my podcast, you know that I really love Jane. I've been using it for, gosh, almost a year now. And I get lots of questions about, what does Jane look like on the back end? What will happen if I transition from another EHR? So I wanted to bring them on and to answer all your questions and basically run through the back end and show you the important things. And then, of course, to answer any questions that you have. So also if if you're here and you want to pop in the chat and let us know where you are watching from, that would be super. And this will be recorded, so you can always watch it again later on. Yeah, so I will hand it off to Lauren and Emmy. Thank you guys very, very much for being here today.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. Yes, we are so happy to be joining your community today. I will be kind of sitting along in the chat. So if anyone, doesn't want to turn their camera on or their audio, you're more than welcome to send questions in the chat. And I can also follow up with guide information of what's being discussed in that chat. Emmy will walk you through what Jane is, the back end, and like Michelle said, happy to answer any questions along the way, whether you ask them over audio or through the chat. And then once we're done this session, whether you're watching the recording or you've already attended, I will send Michelle a link to all the resources and guides and information that we discussed. So it's just like a really quick reference for you if you're short on time.
Awesome. Thank you, Lauren and Michelle. I'm Emmy from the demo coaching team here at Jane. I'm from Montreal. I get to talk with brand new practices that are looking to integrate Jane into their day-to-day and really looking to make your workload easier. I did want to run through the basics of Jane as, I'm going to share my screen with you actually, and hope I can make this right. Bear with me. Here you go. So yeah, I just wanted to go through some basics of Jane. And as Lauren mentioned previously, she will monitor the chat, so feel free to ask questions in there or don't hesitate to interrupt me and unmute yourself, ask away. I'm here for you. And basically, today's agenda, I'm going to share the agenda here so you can see it. So I'll bring you over the patient side of things, the online booking page, and then we'll go over the schedule and the charting. And before we end the webinar, we'll just give you some space for questions as well, if you'd like. And then let me just go to the demo. Here you go. Can you all see my demo clinic here? Awesome, thank you. So as you can see, this is just the online booking site where you can, offer some availabilities to your client, and you can add multiple location if you wanted. You'll be able to customize this page to your liking and choosing the colors that you want. You'll be able to upload your logo, but your page is going to look somewhat more like this if you're just a solo provider. And then the patients can see your description, your bio, the treatments that you offer, and then they can book with you. The great thing about Jane is that you can customize your availabilities. If you wanted to restrict the schedule a bit more, you could set those availabilities to contact to book as opposed to bookable online. So there's a few ways to do that. If you just want patients to book themselves in, you could leave the spots to be open like that. And then the patients can just go ahead and typically they can book. I'm going to book in the future. Here you go. And then I can book more as a patient, or I can confirm this. So here, as you can see, and that's probably one of the most favorite feature that at least I get to chat with clinics on the daily, and they really like this feature because it protects yourself as a therapist. So this is our integration with Jane Payments. We partner with Stripe for that. It allows you to set a prepayment policy as a therapist on the online booking page so that your patients would be required, in this case, to add a credit card on file. Or you could even require them to pay a deposit if you wanted. So up to you, but that's if ever the patient late cancels or maybe no show, at least it's going to protect you as a therapist. So at least the therapists I go to, usually they all use that. And of course, it's secure. And then they can secure their booking. As you can see, they will see a confirmation. They can subscribe to their calendar. They can fill out intake forms if you have one for that type of appointment. They can read a blurb about your cancellation policy. And this is customizable, by the way. You could set this up to 48 hours if you wanted, up to you. And then the patient can just see their patient portal. So that's kind of a patient side of things where patients can see, manage a couple of things on their own, viewing future, past appointments. They can even add themselves to a wait list if you have one. I really like that feature as a patient myself, honestly. Sometimes I just don't need or don't want to call the clinic, so I just add myself like that quickly. And then as a therapist as well, you can send some documents like post-treatment care instruction with your patients, and they would see it there. And then, yeah, patients can also add themselves, add their credit card on file if they wanted. They can pay a balance if ever, I don't know, they forgot their wallet at home or something like that. You could send them the invoice, and they will pay from their home, which is really handy. So this is just a couple of things again patients can do before we head into the schedule. Do we have any questions or any concerns, or how's the chat doing? I don't have my eyes on it, so
Yeah, we're looking good so far. And Michelle, feel free to chime in if you have like any tips or tricks that you use, like as a practitioner when Emmy's going through this that you find helpful or you think would be additional like commentary to add. Great.
I will say that
awesome.
I had a patient just use the waitlist feature this morning, and that was super helpful. I love that it's so specific. You know, she put parameters on there. If you have anything on this day between 9 and 2, and something opened up, and I was able to just put her in. Yeah, that's one of my favorite features.
It's so easy. Thanks for sharing, Michelle. I love
Yeah.
to hear that. It's definitely easier on the admin side of things and on the patient side of things. Like it helps tremendously, saving some time on your end as well on the day-to-day on the admin. Talking about the admin side of things, I'm going to jump into the schedule and we'll go over how to book an appointment. And I'm going to show you how staggered booking looks like as well, because I know at least my acupuncturist, she works from 2 rooms and she likes to juggle things around and use 2 rooms to work from. So we can accommodate that in Jane. Um, so as you can see, this is just a schedule here with multi-provider, of course, our demo clinic is a bit of a everyone, a lot of disciplines, but if you're just a solo provider, again, it's just going to look with yourself, right? And we're going to use Zoe. She's the acupuncturist and massage therapist here in our demo clinic. I really like the magnifying glass because that's going to allow you to see the open spot in the schedule, so you don't have to look for one. So that's just easy, and then you can click on it, and Jane will bring it as a reserved spot for the next 10 minutes. So you avoid like running into conflicts with maybe patients booking online if you offer online booking and things like that. So it's just reserving it for the next 10 minutes, and then you can just select your patient from the patient list. And you can also create a new patient if you wanted, just quickly like that, first name, last name, email, and phone number. And then that's going to create themselves as a new patient if it's the first time for them to come and see you. So I'm gonna, yeah, 30-minute, it's good. I'm gonna choose an acupuncture treatment here, and you can add additional notes as well. That's for your visibility. It's not going to be visible to the patients, but if you have like a note like, oh, maybe the patient is going to be late or something, or this patient is actually working for Jane. I know like sometimes they work that in their notes, my own practitioners, and like, yes, I do work for Jane. It's just cute. But yeah, and then you can book it and it's going to be confirmed. You see, it's now switched to a different color. It's not gray anymore. So when the patient actually arrives, let's say it's today, right now, we can check them in. That's going to generate the invoice for it as well. So you see the outstanding. Now, I know some of you will work with super bills and codes, CPT, ICD. So the code sets are also included in the insurance component of the practice and the Thrive plan in Jane. So you'll be able to add those codes here. Of course, after adding a policy, and then you can choose them from the list. They will just populate and you can favorite them and assign the rates to them, of course. So for example, I'm just going to add a couple of them. You can add them here, by the way, in the appointment panel, but it's good for you to know that you can do this, add the codes when charting as well. And we'll chat about that soon. But yeah, you can add the procedures. So I'm just going to choose some random codes. And then once you have those, you can generate a super bill and it's going to look like this. So of course, it's going to be customized to your own branding, your logo, name of the practice, your TIN, NPI will be showing up there. And then the procedures, the codes will be showing up there as well with the quantity. So yeah, that's pretty neat. And then again, it's generated automatically, right? So once you get the codes, it's going to pop you the option for a super bill, and then you can even send it to the patients if you want it. So if let's say this was yeah, cash pay, so you can go ahead, receive the payment for this. And the other thing I wanted to show you, because some of you will also have an inventory of products or maybe some merch, herbs, supplements that you want to sell at the same time of an appointment, you could add a product. Jane is amazing at managing the inventory. So you could just add a product here. And let's say I have supplements and select it and then change the quantity for it as well, which is pretty neat. If you had like a promo going on as well, you could use the adjustment feature and you can create, customized that's not the one I wanted. Sorry, I just clicked there. I wanted to use the friends and family, but it doesn't matter. Just to show you, you can actually customize those the way you want. And also just instead of 15%, you could choose 20, do an override, or give a dollar discount instead. And Jane will adjust it right away in here. And then you can also track packages and memberships. I know for me, I love the packages feature because I always get the one that, I don't know, like I buy 10, let's say, sessions and then I get two for free or something like that, or like get the discounted like amount or anything like that. You can track packages, sell the package up front to the patient, and then they pay for it. And then let's say they get $0, visit, or there's different ways to do that. But Jane is really good at tracking the usage. So if this patient would have had a package purchase before, it would show, okay, they got 2 out of 10 used or something like that. The membership is going to be a bit different. It's more going to be like a recurring payment. So it can be charged off of their credit card instead, but every month they get X amount of treatments, and then the card is charged automatically for a duration of a year or something like that. You can create it the way you want as well, but again, Jane will track the membership usage for it. So that's kind of neat. How do we feel so far? I think we got a couple of questions in there. Lauren, you're doing
Yeah.
amazing in the chat.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce their name. I don't know if you know either, Michelle, who's asking some really great questions. But I did provide the Jane Payments like terminal, the
Yes.
online Stripe one in there. And then I'm just typing in the chat, but Jane does have an integration with FullScript, just not with QuickBooks, but we do have that workaround. And then maybe if you want to answer the question, Emmy, can you use Jane offline, or is an internet connection required for all users?
Yes, you have to use an internet connection. Yeah, that's a really good question. So Jane is web-based. I know it's called Jane app. Sometimes it's a bit confusing, but yes, you'll want to use Jane on a browser. I'm using Chrome right now. That's going to give you a better experience altogether. But yes, you need to have a connection. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to go on the website for it. And yes, that was good questions regarding the Jane payments integration. So we will follow up probably with that as well regarding the rates. But and Lauren, thank you for answering that in the chat. But we have the online feature allowing you for prepayment policy that I went over earlier a bit. And then the ability to add a credit card on file. So that's going to be 2.85% plus 25 cents per transaction. And we also have a terminal that's fully integrated with your Jane account, meaning that that little terminal here is basically integrated. So when patients pay on that using their debit card, for instance, the payment's going to go into their visit in Jane, and that terminal is a one-time fee of 239 plus tax and shipping, and but you don't have to use both. You can use either or if you wanted to start with the online. That's up to you, but the terminal fee, so 2.6% plus 10 cent per transaction, and there's no other fee. There's no admin fee or annual fee. These are just a fee per transaction when you use it, and then you get the rest deposited into your bank account within 2 business days. So I hope that's helpful, but we'll follow up with some information as well so you have that handy. Awesome. Going back to the schedule, so if you would like, we've been over this. I'm gonna head into the charting, and I can show you, yeah, how to do the billing because some of you will accept insurance, I think. So we'll go over that, show you how to add the billing codes into the chart note. But beforehand, I just wanted to show you the staggered booking quickly because I know, again, as mentioned, some of you will offer like the ability of working from 2 rooms or like 2 tables. So it can look something like that where you'll have like 2 columns for the 2 table or 2 rooms. And then you can enable staggered booking if you want it. So it's going to look something like this. If you wanted like to do I don't know 2 patients every 30 minutes or every 45 minutes, that can be customized in your schedule settings if you wanted. So that's a really good guide to have. Also, I know you had mentioned the integration with full script. So this is actually neat because the full script integration in Jane will allow you to kind of authorize the application for it, but then it's going to add a tab into the patient chart. So that's kind of neat. You'll see if ever you wanted to start some recommendation between patients. So you'll be able to build it right from here and choose whatever you're going to recommend them in terms of supplements. So that's really good. And we can definitely include this guide as well for you in our follow-up. Let's jump to the charting. If we don't have any more questions about the schedule, we'll hop over to the charting side of things. What I like in the charting is that you can actually create your own templates if you wanted from scratch, or we also have a great template library which is broken down into those disciplines. And as you can see, there are a lot in acupuncture, and a lot of practices have shared those templates with us. So it can be for intake forms, it can be to be used for notes when you chart like soap, for example, can be used for consents as well, where you can copy paste the text here and use it for your own consents. So I mean, you can look up even by keyword. I like to type in like a keyword to just narrow my search better. Um, and for example, you'll see some preview on the right and how many people have used this one, for example. So it's pretty neat. It's going to save a lot of time because I know how sometimes intake forms are daunting just because, yeah, they take a bit more time to build, but then you just have to update them accordingly. But at first, if you use this template library, at least it's going to save you some steps and you can use the template for yourself, add it to your own, it becomes yours, and then you'll be able to update it accordingly and customize it even further if needed. So let's say, okay, I got it here. I'm gonna go to my day view. And in the day view, so on the left, you got all the appointments you have for the day, and on the right, the dashboard. So this is just a couple like metrics that you can refer to for the past year, the past month, the past week. And it's going to show you the top treatments, your top patients. But you can see a bigger overview of this in the reports of Jane. But if it's too much, you can also disable it for now. And then going to your day view, so you can click on someone's appointment like that, and Jane will bring you to their chart area right away, where you can see the different dates, you know, and the notes that you added. So then I can just add a note. It could be like a chief complaint, a regular note, a body chart. If the patient has some maybe test or I don't know, any file they wanted us to upload, you can also upload it here. Or we can use our template that we created earlier. And as you can see, so yeah, there's a couple of like text boxes you can add if you wanted, like if you work with body chart or tongue chart even, you could upload your own image and draw on top of it. I'm using a computer right now, so it's not going too well, but you know what I mean? If you have a pencil or Apple Pencil or a stylus, you could draw on top of it. On a computer, I like to use those pointer tools because they can be moved around and then they will open up text boxes for further notes. Um, I don't know if some of you use macros, but you'll be able to use those in Jane and make your charting a bit easier. We know how charting takes a lot of our time as practitioners, so you'll be able to use those keywords where they can just populate a sentence for you. Macros can be used like that, those phrases. You can also use the dictation feature to talk, and then it's gonna lay down the text for you. So a couple of options here. And as you can see, this is just a draft right now, okay? And as you fill out the chart, you're gonna want to sign it when you're done. And then you'll notice the padlock will be closed at the top here. And on the appointment as well, which is kind of neat to give you a little heads up, you know. And then if I wanted to actually add the codes here, because I mentioned you could do that from this and you could add a regular note or do it from the template that we've used earlier and just start with the number sign and add your billing codes to that. So the first numbers of it or the first letters of the code, and then your code will populate automatically. So that can be done here, and it can also be done, like I mentioned earlier, on the admin side of things or on the schedule and the appointment panel. The great thing is that if you add it here, you can also make it so it's copied onto the invoice, so you don't need to put it twice. You know what I mean? So that's going to also be saving you some time. And where you want to do that is editing the billing codes, selecting them all. You see they are here, and then update the billing. And then manage the insurance info, and you'll see they were just mapping over, they map from the charting area into the invoice. So that's pretty neat. Once you got those billing codes in, you'll be able to go ahead and submit. And I can show you the process in a nutshell for the insurance because we have an amazing integration with ClaimMD, which allow you to actually save some time in the sense, usually you would download an EDI file from the system, the software you're using, going to the clearinghouse portal, submit there, and then come back to Jane with the ERA. So it's just a couple of steps that with the integration with ClaimMD, it's going to allow you to submit in Jane, to manage the rejections in Jane, and see your remittances, sorry, in real time. Because of the integration, your folders will consistently update themselves on a regular basis. But before we go into that process quickly, do we have any questions about the charting at all, or anything you wanted to see there? Good, awesome.
Yeah, doing great.
Okay,
Thanks, Sammy.
great. Yeah, of course. Let's head into the billing then. So without going too much in detail, I mean, it's great that I think the integration is with ClaimMD is especially very popular for people who don't have an admin staff because again, this is pretty much done by itself. With the integration, it's going to save you a lot of time there. By doing almost everything in Jane as opposed to doing it in the ClaimMD portal or another clearinghouse's portal. I would say the only thing that we don't have right now is the eligibility check. If you want to do a pre-eligibility check, you need to do it in ClaimMD's portal. But it's something that we're looking to add soon because a lot of practices have been vocal about that one. So in my billing tab, I'll see a lot of claim submission folders, such as the unsubmitted, the submitted, approved. We have the remittances at the bottom here. So once you got the policy added to the appointment and the billing codes added, you're ready to submit. And so in the unsubmitted, you'll have a couple of filter options at the top. So you can filter by staff member, by insurer type, claim type as well, by date range. Those are pretty handy if you have a lot of like, claims there. You can select them all and submit 25 at once, or you can just select a couple of them if you prefer, and then click on submit. And Jane is going to tell you if there's anything missing or maybe like a billing code is missing or the TIN NPI is going to show you in red. You have to fix it. And then once it's resolved, you'll be able to submit at the bottom. And the button is going to be, yeah, like this. And then it's going to move from the unsubmitted to the submitted folder, and you'll wait for adjudication response, right? And so when you got the money back from the insurers, that will show up in the remittances. Let me just use the other demo site because it looks like my access as a practitioner was revoked. This is a demo that's public, by the way, so sometimes some things might happen like that, but I always have a backup plan. So let's go to this one here, remittances. And so you'll see a list of, your payments coming back, what was covered from the insurer. So you'll have some in progress, some awaiting review. And as mentioned earlier, the remittances folder will update every few hours. So we can go to the one with awaiting review. And that looks like it was a payment coming from Aetna for 282. And then I can just record it and go to claim responses. And you'll see there's an insurer invoice and there's a client invoice as well that's created. So the client invoice is usually the client responsibility, like the copay, deductible, co-insurance. So and then you see it was submitted for 350, but it was only 280 that was paid. And then you can go and see the details for that with the codes and the bill, the allowed amount, the paid amount, and the patient responsibility with the details for it. If you need to adjust or edit some things, you can do it there. But usually because it's coming from the insurer and the clearinghouse, it's pretty straightforward. And then you can apply changes. And you'll notice that this will be moved to approved. Okay, with the label here and paid. But the only thing we need to go ahead is charging the patient for it. So if you have a credit card on file, that's going to make it easier. Or if ever, yeah, they just want to pay with the terminal or something, then they do receive the payment for it, and it's going to be switching from unpaid to paid like this. So that's the insurance workflow in a nutshell. Do we have any questions about this so far?
No, I think we're looking good.
We're good. Awesome. Aside from that, was there anything else you wanted to cover that I didn't go about? I might be talking actually about something that I forgot to mention when I was on the online booking page. I know some of you will have a website and some of you might not. For the ones that do have a website, we have the ability to add like a little button like this to your website. And that's pretty easy to do. The button can redirect patients to your online booking page. It's something that can be done by copying, pasting a code snippet from your Jane account into your website. So if you work with a web designer, for instance, you could give them the coding snippet for them to add that little widget. And if you wanted as well, we do offer website building services since we partnered with Clinic Sites, which offers the ability to integrate your Jane account with a website. So it would be synced together. So the website can pull the information that's public in your Jane account and map it over a website. And it's pretty unbelievable to see. This can create a website. The integration can create a website for you within 2 minutes. It's pretty neat to see. I don't know much about website myself, but I know this is great for saving you some time, but also um, yeah, if you wanted to take a peek at that, you can try it out and see if you like it. We have a special offer for this until the end of the year, so you still have time. It's 59 per month instead of 79, so pretty competitive. And then yeah, unlimited pages is included, the web hosting, the daily sync between your Jane account and the website. You get amazing support, of course, because we work together. And it could look like something, of course, the other was just a demo site, but this is an example of an acupuncture clinic using it. So just wanted to throw it out there in case it can or might interest some people. You don't need to be a Jane customer as well, but yeah, it's always good to have like the sync because yeah, it's just helping you not managing everything on the website. So and if ever some of you are testing in our demo site, or if you get like also you can get a demo that's maybe more personalized with one of us, we would love going over, you know, some features that might interest you and seeing if Jane could be a good option for you. But if you're ever stuck in the demo site and feel free to use our Jane Guide Sidekick. You can just ask questions. It's connected with AI, so it's going to give you a step-by-step or videos on how to do things in Jane. But you can call us, chat with us, email. I feel like the phone is the fastest option. And I once was part of the support team, and I think the support is really great. We're there to lend a hand for you. You don't have to figure everything out by yourself. So if ever you wanted to call us, we can walk you through the steps on how to do things. And we're there from Monday to Friday, from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. PST. So that would be 9 to 8 Eastern, and Saturday 8 to 12, so 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
I have a quick question.
Yes, of course.
So, if people do not have Jane yet, they can still access the demo site and play around with it.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
We can
So,
share that. Yes.
yeah, I was going to say, how do they, like, how would they find the entrance to the demo site? That's
Uh,
such a strange question.
yeah, we can share
Where
it.
is it?
Yeah, we can share it with them in the follow-up email. It's
Okay.
not like on, actually, it is on the public side of things. You can find it in our Jane community in Facebook. If you use
Gotcha.
Facebook, of course, you can find it there. The daily password will be showing up there with the demo site that's
Gotcha.
public. Or you give us a call, you get a demo with us, you send us an email, but we can definitely follow up with you regarding this. It's a great question, actually.
Yeah, that would be super if we could include the link for people to access it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
no
course.
problem. I'll definitely include that. I will preface, and I know not everyone will watch it, and I'll preface it in the email too, but our password for the demo site does reset every Monday. So what I will include will be good for the rest of this week until May, what is that, 19th? But then it will reset. So you just have to reach back out to Jane to get that. Or if you're in the community Facebook group, which Emmy is also going to chat a little bit about, then you can see it there.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you both. The Jane Community group on Facebook is an amazing place to start if you're not sure where to start. Or I feel like there are so many acupuncturists in there as well, where you can just connect and see what works best for them, what they dislike, or just what workflow they use. This is a great place to start. Yeah.
I mean, Ishal, and thank you so much for sharing your name with us. It's beautiful. Had a great question. With so many features available, how long would you say the learning curve is when switching to Jade?
That's a really good question. Yes, thanks for bringing this up. I feel like this can be different for everyone, but for solo practitioners, and maybe starting from scratch, we've seen practices taking maybe between 1, 2, 3 weeks, I would say. It depends if you come from another practice, maybe, and you have like an import of data, because we can help with the import of data as well if you're using, I don't know, like another software, and you want to bring patient demographics into Jane, that can add up a bit, just because there's a couple of days to respect, right? Depending on how many imports we got on one day. But even if there's an import of data, you can still use your Jane account. And yes, you'll end up with some duplicated profile, but there's an easy way to merge them together, if that makes sense. And we have amazing guides. I wanted to add, like, to help with the onboarding. We have, let me show you this. Actually, I'm just gonna go back to my demo here. We have great guides about uh, here. So we have great guides about front desk training or practitioner training so basically it's bite-sized videos that can be watched between maybe 5, 6 minutes, 2 minutes sometimes, and walking you through the process on how to do, booking an appointment, the charting basics and things like that. So that's good to go over from the start. But then we have an amazing onboarding wizard in your Jane account that will pop on the left here. I don't have it right now, but it's going to be like a list of items that you want to complete before going live. And then you have the support as well. With us, we're there to help you with the steps. But clinics signing up for Jane, they get an account setup consultation, and it's like a demo like today, but more personalized and geared towards, your practice. And we do a screen sharing, but instead of the demo, it's going to be with your own Jane account, and then we go over the basics together and make sure that you're up and ready for your go live date.
I would say I think it took me like a month because I used the free grace period month to like learn how to use Jane, and then I used my free setup call.
Mm.
And I was basically like on the call with the person saying like, this is what I want my clinic to look like. Can we set it up like this together? So I felt like
Yes.
that was the hardest part, but they did most of the work. And then I just used the rest of the month to get comfortable, and also to like schedule the data import, which you guys did, and then to kind of learn like to get comfortable, like when a patient arrives, what do I do and how do I open their chart? So I think a month is pretty reasonable, and because you have the free grace period, that really helps a lot. Would you say that's pretty average? Like people are using that grace period to sort of figure out what they're doing and get comfy and do their data import, and then at the end of that, they're good to go. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
sure
I
they
think
don't
so.
have to take a month, but I definitely just decided to take my time.
Yes, no, totally. You could do that. I've definitely heard practitioner using the because you'll have a month for free of grace period
Mhm.
with this code, which is great. So yeah, you'll be able
Yeah,
to use that time. It's a great transition period to help with that, definitely. Yeah, Michelle.
I'll put it in the chat. Let me see. Oops.
And there's no limit to how many times you can even call. We love chatting with clinics that are helping other people. So yeah, definitely that's included in part of your subscription as well. So
Yeah. I called many times.
yeah, and how was it for you, the experience with the support? Like, do you feel like you did have to wait a bit longer sometimes or not so much, or how'd it go?
Oh no, no, it's always good. I like that there's different like levels of support. So if something's not important, I'll send an email or a chat. If I just like can't find something, sometimes or if I really just want someone to show me how to do something, I'll ask if we can do like a video chat like this. And that's super helpful. I a couple of weeks ago I was considering starting to take insurance, and I asked if someone could just walk me through all of the insurance portions of Jane. Like, how would this work? Like, if I started doing this, how would I get started? So someone spent at least 30 minutes with me, I would say, sharing their screen. So that was very helpful.
Wow. No,
Yeah.
that's great. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are asking for a screen sharing because it's just
Hmm.
easier to go over things
Yeah.
together. We got another question for
Sure.
you, Michelle.
Oh,
If you used an EHR before, Jane, that's a
oh
really good
yes.
question, actually.
Yep. So I had Unified Practice, which I liked Unified Practice. It's a good, solid software. I just wanted more features and I wanted more control over the schedule. And I also felt like Jane is a little it, it's prettier. There's like no way around because my practice is a lot of cosmetic acupuncture, and so we're really leaning towards a spa atmosphere. And I wanted, as soon as people landed on the schedule, that to be reflected. And I felt like Jane did that really well. Plus, I mean, all the features on the back end, it's so customizable. So it had a lot of features I was looking for.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah, as a
Yeah,
patient myself as well, I've definitely used my fair share
I bet.
of other EHRs, and it's true. Jane is just so easy. And then there's a nap coming out. It's just in beta right now. It's going to allow patients to just book for their multiple different clinics from one login.
Ooh,
So they don't have to just have multiple passwords altogether. And
gotcha.
password management, we know how rough it can be, but it's going to help a lot with just, yeah, the ease of use, quick booking an appointment. I'm testing it right now since like a couple of months, and I'm loving it so far. It's just making my life, yeah, made my life a lot easier for sure.
So is it similar to, is it Mind Body, where there's the one app and then every practitioner who uses it, you could search like for your local area? Ah, okay, that's really
Something like
nice.
that. Yeah,
That's
that's going to
Yeah.
be like in I think another iteration of the app, but yeah, it's
gotcha.
with the map and all. But what did you want to say? Sorry, Lauren, I didn't mean to cut
Oh,
you off.
I was just gonna say, I know how excited everyone is. I just want to preface the fact that just because we are Canadian, it has to be done kind of backwards for us, that it is in Canada first, and then once we get through, like, we're happy with the iteration of Canada's version, then we can move it to the States, just because they have different laws in terms of like app making and things like that. So
Right.
we are in the process of that up here, and then it will slowly be trickling down to you guys. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
no, that's good information. That's good. We're excited for it.
Amazing. Okay. Does anyone else have any other questions? We have about 15 minutes. If does Jane integrate with Wave or Office Ally? Elizabeth, I think is how I'd pronounce that one. But Emmy, do you have an answer for that?
Yeah, so what does is Wave a clearinghouse, or because Office Ally is a clearinghouse that I've heard of. We don't integrate with Office Ally at the moment. But you could still use Office Ally if you wanted to, and just in Jane, it's going to allow you to download the EDI file and then bring it to Office Ally to submit it there, and then take the ERA from Office Ally, for instance, and bring it back to Jane and see your remittances there. So not integrated at this time. We just integrate with ClaimMD, but is Wave the same thing? Is it would it be like
It
a
is
clearinghouse?
invoicing and like accounting, from my understanding, because I have other
Ah,
ambassadors sent it that way
right.
with me.
Right. Yeah. So we don't integrate with QuickBooks or Wave, but what you could do is and what we've heard other practices doing is that they will pull the reports from Gene and upload it into their billing software, like if you wanted to manage the accounting from there. But Gene is pretty good at managing the financial reports and things. Like if ever you record the payment engine and things like that, it's going to be accurate, and you can take those reports and most of them will be exportable to Excel or CSV files, so you can give it to your accountant if you wanted. That's a possibility as well. Because yeah, right now we just integrate with Bench, which is another software that could potentially do similar things as Wave. I would have to dig a bit further for that. But if Wave is also offering like the ability to like save cards on file and things like that, then we only integrate with Stripe at the moment for that. So the Jane Payments integration for online or the Jane Payments terminal. So just wanted to add that in case that I missed the question. So
Awesome. Yeah, I think that answers things. Great.
yeah, those are all great questions, honestly. Like I love that.
Awesome. Okay, I think that wraps up this conversation for today. But as Emmy demonstrated, we are always here to help with various different levels and ways of contacting our support team. So via phone, email, or chat. I will follow up with Michelle on all of the information that we discussed. I know she'll also share the recording with you later on if you're watching this back. But if you do ever have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to Jane. And if you are interested in joining, don't forget to use Michelle's 1 month grace period code AccuSchool1MO, and that will also be included in the follow-up information.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Have a
Thank
great
you,
rest of your
everyone.
day.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of your week, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here.